Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. If you're a collector or just someone who appreciates history, you're in for a treat today. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of one of the United States' most iconic coins, the 1965 quarter dollar. This coin holds more than just historical value. Believe it or not, it might be worth more than you'd expect. Stick around as we uncover the incredible story behind the 1965 quarter dollar and reveal just how much it could be worth today. Let's start by taking a step back in time. The year 1965 was a pivotal one for the United States, not just in politics and culture, but in the world of currency as well. For the first time in U.S. history, the government made a significant change to the composition of its coins. In response to the rising cost of silver, the U.S. Mint decided to reduce the silver content in most coins, including the quarter dollar. This decision led to a major shift in the design and composition of the coin, which makes the 1965 quarter so interesting and valuable to collectors today. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver, which made them highly valuable not just as currency, but as precious metal. However, in 1965, the U.S. government switched to a copper-nickel alloy, which dramatically reduced the intrinsic value of the coin in terms of precious metals. But here's the catch: some rare 1965 quarters, specifically a few coins that were mistakenly struck with higher silver content, have become one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. The 1965 quarter dollar typically has a copper-nickel composition, but during the transition in production, a small number of these coins were accidentally struck using the old silver planchets, blank coins that were made before the switch to copper-nickel. These silver-struck 1965 quarters are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors, as they represent an error in the minting process that gives them historical and monetary significance. Now, let's talk about the design of the 1965 quarter, which remains largely the same as its predecessors. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington's portrait is beautifully rendered, showing the first U.S. president in profile. This design has remained on quarters for over 80 years, symbolizing the strength and leadership that Washington represents to this day. On the reverse side, the coin features a traditional eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch. This emblematic design is a symbol of the United States' power and peace, which perfectly encapsulates the spirit of the country. But despite the beauty and history of the design, it's the coin's composition and rarity that really give the 1965 quarter its value. Finding a 1965 quarter in mint condition is already a challenge. After all, most of these coins were made with a lower-grade copper-nickel alloy, and many were heavily circulated. But when you factor in the chance of encountering a silver-struck error coin, that's where things get truly exciting for collectors. Coins with minting errors are always highly coveted, and the 1965 silver quarter is no exception. These rare error coins can be identified by their distinct weight and composition, which differ from the standard copper-nickel coins. The silver content in these special quarters makes them much heavier and gives them a noticeable shine when compared to their non-silver counterparts. To identify whether you have one of these rarities, you'd typically need to consult with a professional or conduct a specific test, such as a weight test or even a magnetic test. Since silver doesn't stick to magnets like copper or nickel, collectors, however, aren't just interested in any old 1965 quarter, they want the error pieces. These special quarters can be extremely difficult to find, as very few were ever minted with the silver content. The discovery of one of these silver quarters is like finding a needle in a haystack, and it's why the demand for these rare coins is through the roof now. For the big reveal, the moment you've all been waiting for. If you happen to stumble upon one of these silver-struck 1965 quarters, you could be sitting on a treasure worth an eye-popping $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000. For a single coin that's over 50 years old, that's an impressive sum. The rarity, the minting error, and the historical significance of the coin all combine to make it one of the most valuable coins for collectors today. So, what does this mean for you? If you have a collection of quarters or perhaps a loose change jar, it's definitely worth taking a second look at any 1,965 quarters you may have. If you find one of these error coins, you could be looking at a life-changing discovery. Even if you don't find a silver-struck quarter, the 1965 coin in general still holds value as a piece of U.S. history and an essential part of American numismatics. As always, it's important to take good care of your coins. Whether they're rare or not, proper storage and handling can help preserve their condition and keep their value intact. And for those of you just starting out in coin collecting, always remember that the joy of collecting is just as much about the journey as it is about the discovery. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed learning about the fascinating history and value of the 1965 quarter dollar. Top 2 1979 quarter dollar from the United States of America, and let me tell you, this coin holds a surprising secret. You might just have a piece of history worth a lot more than its face value. Stick with us, and we'll reveal just how much this coin could be worth. Let's travel back in time to 1979. The United States, just a few years removed from the tumultuous 1960s and early 1970s, was entering a new decade full of promise and change. The country was experiencing political shifts, and the economy was recovering from previous challenges. In the world of coinage, however, 1979 marked a year that would go down in history for a unique reason: the 1979 quarter dollar. You see, the 1979 quarter was part of a series that continued the design of George Washington's portrait on the obverse, a design that has stood the test of time and still graces quarters to this day. But what makes the 1979 quarter so special is not just its historical context or the design, but the rarity and significance that some of these coins carry today. It's easy to overlook a coin like this, but let's take a deeper look at why the 1979 quarter dollar is more than just pocket change. First, let's talk about the design. The obverse features a classic portrait of George Washington, who served as the first president of the United States. This particular design was created by artist John Flanagan, and it's one that continues to represent American strength and leadership. The reverse of the coin features the familiar eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, an enduring symbol of peace and strength for the nation. Now, the coin's composition in 1979 was primarily copper-nickel, a standard mix for most modern U.S. coins. But beyond its composition, there's something more fascinating going on beneath the surface that you might not be aware of. As with many coins, the 1979 quarter was mass-produced and circulated in great quantities. Most of the coins from this year were used in everyday transactions and are still out there in circulation, so it's not necessarily rare to find a 1979 quarter at first glance. However, the value of this coin isn't determined just by its availability. It has to do with certain variations and unique circumstances that can make it worth a small fortune. So what exactly is it that makes the 1979 quarter so intriguing to collectors? Well, in the world of numismatics, coin collecting, error coins, rare variations, and low mintage coins are what drive demand and value. The 1979 quarter saw some fascinating variations that have become highly sought after by collectors today. One of the most notable types is the 1979 wide rim quarter. This variation occurred because of an error in the minting process, where the quarter's design was slightly off-center, causing the rim of the coin to appear wider than usual. This subtle variation may not seem like much to the untrained eye, but in the world of coin collecting, this small error can make all the difference in a coin's value. Wide rim 1979 quarters are exceptionally rare, and they stand out from the rest of the 1979 quarters produced that year. The demand for these error coins has only increased as more collectors have come to recognize their value, and they can command a hefty price on the open market, but it doesn't stop there. Another reason the 1979 quarter dollar is so coveted has to do with its unique place in American coinage history. The late 1970s were a time of transition, both politically and economically, and collectors often seek out coins from these transitional periods because they can represent a moment in time when the country was going through significant change. The 1979 quarter, in its design and composition, is a reflection of the times, and that historical context adds to its desirability for many collectors. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, the value. You might be thinking that a 1979 quarter is just another coin you can find in your spare change, but hold on tight, this coin could be worth far more than you expect. If you have a 1979 quarter in exceptional condition, or better yet, if it's one of the rare wide rim error coins, it could be worth an impressive sum. And here it is, the value of these coins can go as high as $72,000. Yes, you heard that right, $72,000 for a single 1979 quarter. That's the kind of money you could be looking at if you happen to find one of these rare variants in pristine condition. So, what should you do if you have a 1979 quarter or come across one in your change jar? First, take a moment to inspect the coin carefully. Look for any signs of errors like the wide rim or any other distinguishing features. If your 1979 quarter looks like it has any potential to be one of these rare error coins, it's worth taking it to a professional for a second opinion. If you do have one of these rarities, then congratulations, you could be holding on to a small treasure, but even if you don't find a wide rim quarter, don't give up on coin collecting just yet. The 1979 quarter, like many coins from significant periods in history, still holds value as a piece of American heritage. So whether you're an experienced collector or just starting out, coins like the 1979 quarter can be a great addition to your collection. Thanks for joining us today as we explored the fascinating story and value of the 1979 quarter dollar. Top 3 1986 quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter you could find in your pocket change, but trust me, this coin holds secrets that could make it far more valuable than you ever imagined. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much a 1986 quarter could be worth today. Let's take a step back in time to 1986. The US was in the middle of a decade marked by economic growth, technological advancements, and major cultural shifts. Ronald Reagan was in his second term as president, and the country was experiencing a boom in consumerism and innovation. But while many things were changing in the world around us, some things were staying the same, like the design of the US quarter dollar. The 1986 quarter continued the long-standing tradition of George Washington's portrait, which had adorned the quarter for decades. This iconic design, created by artist John Flanagan, was chosen to honor the first president of the United States. Over the years, the Washington quarter has become a symbol of American strength, liberty, and leadership. The reverse side of the 1986 quarter featured the eagle, a symbol of power and freedom, as it had for many years. So why are we talking about the 1986 quarter? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Most of the quarters minted in 1986 are just like the ones you find in your pocket or in a jar of loose change. They were mass-produced and circulated widely, so finding a 1986 quarter in average condition is not particularly rare. However, there are certain factors that can make a 1986 quarter stand out in a collector's eyes. As with any collectible, it's all about rarity, condition, and unique features. One of the main things collectors look for in a coin is its condition. Coins that have been circulated for years often show signs of wear, making them less valuable. But if you happen to come across a 1986 quarter in uncirculated or near mint condition, that's where the value starts to increase. Coins that haven't been through heavy circulation, meaning they have minimal signs of wear, scratches, or tarnishing, are much more valuable to collectors. A coin in pristine condition could easily fetch a premium, even if it's not a rare error coin, but what truly sets the 1986 quarter apart from the rest is the possibility of finding one with a rare minting error. Throughout history, there have been several famous examples of US coins that were mistakenly struck with design flaws or inconsistencies. These error coins can be incredibly valuable because they are one of a kind, and they represent an interesting part of the coin's history. For the 1986 quarter, one of the most sought-after error types is the double die variety. Double die coins are the result of a mistake during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, causing the design to appear doubled. The doubled image can be faint or more pronounced, depending on the severity of the error. These double die coins are highly prized by collectors because they are rare, and the error makes them unique compared to standard issue coins. If you find a 1986 quarter with a double die, especially one with a noticeable and clear doubling, you could have a true gem on your hands. Aside from the errors, another factor that can drive up the value of the 1986 quarter is its connection to American history. Like many coins minted in the 1980s, the 1986 quarter carries the weight of its era. It was struck during a period of political stability and economic prosperity in the United States, which makes it a fascinating collectible for those who are passionate about the country's history. Collectors often seek coins from specific time periods because they reflect the spirit of that era. Now, let's talk about the exciting part: how much could your 1986 quarter actually be worth? Most 1986 quarters in average condition are worth only their face value of 25 cents, but as with many coins, their true worth lies in their condition and any rare characteristics they might have. If you find a 1986 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, or, even better, one with a significant minting error like the double die, you're looking at a much higher value. And here's the big reveal: a rare 1986 quarter, especially one in exceptional condition or with an error, could be worth as much as $71,000. Yes, you heard that right, $71,000 for a single coin. So, what should you do if you come across a 1986 quarter? First, give it a good look. Check for any signs of wear, and carefully examine the coin for any possible minting errors. A double die coin can be easy to spot if you know what to look for, but if you're unsure, it's always a good idea to have the coin evaluated by a professional numismatist or a trusted coin dealer. If you found a rare error coin or a quarter in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting to explore the world of coin collecting, the 1986 quarter dollar offers a great example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can hold incredible value. It's a perfect reminder that sometimes the most valuable things are hidden in plain sight. So, next time you come across a 1986 quarter, don't just pass it by. Take a moment to inspect it, because you never know, you might have found a coin worth a lot more than you think. Top 4 1979 United States Quarter Dollar. While most people might think of it as just another coin in circulation, there's much more to this quarter than meets the eye. Today, we'll explore its unique qualities, its significance in the world of coin collecting, and the jaw-dropping value it can hold. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this coin could actually be worth. Let's rewind the clock a bit and set the stage for 1979. The US was experiencing a period of significant change. The economy was going through its ups and downs, and the country was adjusting to the new political landscape. Jimmy Carter was the president, and there were important shifts happening in the world. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was continuing its work, producing coins that would go into circulation for everyday transactions. One of those coins was the 1979 quarter dollar. At the time, the U.S. quarter still bore the iconic design of George Washington's portrait on the obverse, the same design that had been in use since 1932. This representation of Washington was designed by John Flanagan, and it's a design that remains a symbol of American heritage and history. The reverse side of the 1979 quarter featured the majestic eagle, another enduring symbol of strength and freedom in the United States. So, what makes the 1979 quarter so special? Why are collectors so eager to get their hands on one of these coins, especially when it was mass-produced during the late 1970s and early 1980s? To the untrained eye, it might seem like just another quarter you could find at any convenience store. However, the value of the 1979 quarter, like many rare coins, lies not just in its design, but in the specific details of its production and condition. For most people, the 1979 quarter is worth only 25 cents. It's a coin that's been circulating for decades and can still be found in change jars or even pockets. But this is where the world of coin collecting gets interesting. When it comes to valuable coins, what matters most is not just the age of the coin, but its rarity and condition. Coins that have been well preserved, with little to no signs of wear, are worth much more than their face value. And here's the kicker: if your 1979 quarter is in near mint or uncirculated condition, it could be worth far more than you think. The 1979 quarter, like many coins, was produced in large quantities, but few of these coins were kept in pristine condition. Over time, most of the quarters from this year were used in everyday transactions, causing wear and tear. However, a small number of 1979 quarters were carefully preserved and are now incredibly valuable to collectors. These coins are highly sought after because they represent a snapshot of American history from the late 1970s, and they are incredibly rare and excellent condition, but the story doesn't end there. In the world of numismatics, coins with minting errors are highly prized. Minting errors can occur during the production process when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to appear distorted, doubled, or off-center. When it comes to the 1979 quarter, one of the most coveted errors is the wide rim variety. This error occurred when the die used to mint the coin wasn't aligned properly, resulting in a quarter with a much wider rim than usual. A 1979 quarter with the wide rim error is a rare find, and collectors will pay top dollar for this variety. If you manage to come across one of these error coins, you could be sitting on a small treasure. Error coins are incredibly valuable because they are unique. Each one is a one-of-a-kind mistake in the minting process. For collectors, owning an error coin like the 1979 wide rim quarter is a prestigious accomplishment, and it can significantly increase the coin's worth. You might be wondering by now, what's the value of a 1979 quarter? If you've been lucky enough to find one of these coins in pristine condition, or, even better, a 1979 quarter with the rare wide rim minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than the 25 cents it was originally minted for. In fact, some of these rare quarters have been known to sell for as much as $73,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $73,000 for a single 1979 quarter. Imagine stumbling upon one of these rarities in your coin collection or as you're sifting through your change. Now that you know how valuable a 1979 quarter can be, you might be wondering how you can tell if you have one of these rare and valuable coins. First, take a close look at the coin's condition. If your 1979 quarter looks almost as if it just came out of the mint, with no visible wear, scratches, or discoloration, it could be worth much more than its face value. Second, check for any minting errors. Look closely at the rim of the coin and the design for signs of misalignment. If you spot any irregularities, it's worth taking the coin to a professional coin dealer or a numismatist to get it evaluated. Even if you don't have a rare error coin, the 1979 quarter still holds significant value as a piece of American history. For collectors, owning coins from specific years can be an important part of building a collection. The 1979 quarter can be a great addition to any numismatic collection, even if it's not one of the rare varieties. Thanks for joining us today as we explored the incredible value of the 1979 United States quarter dollar. If you've got one of these coins or happen to find one in your change, make sure to take a close look. You might be holding onto a real gem. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell to stay updated on more fascinating coin stories. Who knows? The next coin you come across might just be the next big find. Until next time, happy collecting!